Okay, this is really going to upset you, this next interview. It's where the world is coming to from or whatever. Man, this is a young man who didn't know anything about computers, decided to teach himself computers, and coding and things like that. And he went through trying to figure all that out. And he said, gosh, and he did. And he's starting to make computer games and everything. So now he's saying, God, a 5-year-old could do what I learned. It wasn't that hard to learn this stuff, he said. Any 5-year-old. So he made like a toolbox for a 5-year-old to build their own computer. Right, it's like less than $100 or whatever. And they could build their own computer. That's right. I mean, the motherboard on a computer now is only like $15. Yeah, it's amazing the price they come down to. So now you get this little box. It's like an erector set, but for a 5-year-old to build a computer. But truthfully, it's for you and I too, because we can learn about computers, and then we'll know what's inside, and then we know how to fix them better, and don't have those geeks at the geek bar or whatever telling us all this hocus pocus we don't know anything about. You start to learn a little bit about what's wrong with these things when they go wrong. So you get maybe this thing's thinking, I could fix myself, or this needs to have a technician, or when the technician says something, you know what it is because you played with that sucker. And really, this little game in a box is good for a 5-year-old, for their attention span. So anybody could do this and have fun with it. Or what to do, you get one for your 5-year-old and you play it with them. That's what my dad used to do when he bought us train sets. It was really for him, not for us. But it's amazing where the technology has come, and we all need it. And more importantly, we need to know and have an understanding to do anything we want to do in this life, because it's all on these computers now, everything. So the more you know about that, the more you know how to code this. Like right now, the administration, Obama, just had a press conference yesterday. He's given millions and millions of dollars to programs around the country where in 12 weeks you can learn how to code. Anybody can. So just think, you could at any age get one of these boxes and learn about computers, and then go take this course for next to nothing. You learn how to code, and you got a job for $70,000, $80,000. We're short about 500,000 people on computers today. That's right. The jobs are going begging. Unemployment is high, yes, but not there. So that's why I think so very important for young people, old people, everybody is to start learning about this stuff. So watch this interview. You'll be excited about this. And you know what? He's raised over $250,000 already. That's right. Free money. He doesn't even have the thing made yet, just the idea. So he went on the internet. Hey, I got this idea. People throwing money at him, right? $250,000. Wow. So watch this. Okay, well, Mark Pavloga. Oh, see, I knew I was going to screw up. See, the first time I told you before we went on the air, it came out so nicely. Pavlovsky. Is that close, or what is it?
Pavlikovsky.
Pavlikovsky, okay. But who cares about your name, right? We want to know about With Piper, because .com, because you have the neatest gadget. You're going to teach us all how computer run. Everybody's going to learn how to take apart their computer so you don't get ripped off by that computer repairman. And then plus, man, youngsters, you got a toy here for people, young kids that is going to knock their socks off this Christmas.
Yeah.
And you're an Oxford dropout to do this, aren't you?
Yeah.
So how does a dropout from Oxford get involved in making a computer toy for kids to learn this stuff?
I got my first degree in biology, and I learned that all the innovation was happening in technology, computers, software, and I went and taught myself how to program. And it was.
So you taught yourself coding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I tried at least. I tried. I did.
Yeah, right.
It was hard, and so I realized, it was really hard for me. Why does it have to be so hard? It's an opportunity to so many things. It doesn't. It shouldn't be this hard. So I wanted to make a tool for kids to get started at an early age, to understand about computers, electronics, software, things like that.
So this is really, it's almost like a toy, sort of like in my era, we call it like an erector set or something like that, you know, but this is more like like getting a real car to put together. In my generation, you're getting a real computer to put together for $100. Now you put it all together and play a game, and then you change it, and you change the wires, and you change the whole thing, just like you're a computer repairman, and you could use it and understand it with not even reading a manual.
Yeah. We tried to make it very simple so that anyone as young as 5 or as old as 85 could put it together. There is an instruction manual, but most kids they don't read instructions.
Yeah, they don't. No, my kids would never do it. And they're 30. They came up through that generation. But it's what's interesting to me now. Now, I mean, the data show that we need more coders and people understanding computers for jobs. I mean, just in the next 2 years from now, there's going to be a million empty jobs in the United States for this kind of stuff because we don't have people.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's right. If you want your kid to do something, even if they're not going to be a computer scientist forever or something like that, it's sort of like learning how to drive a car.
Yeah.
You got to learn how about this stuff.
Yeah.
Just to get down the road, just to do anything you want to do in life.
And I think it gives you a whole new perspective on the technology that we use. It all comes in black boxes. Your iPhones, your computers, they're like a hidden device that works on magic, right? And by giving you a toolbox that you can actually explore, learn about, connect yourself, and see what the pieces are, I think it gives you a whole new understanding and a way of thinking about the technology that you use every day.
So if you don't go into the geek bar or something to get your computer fixed, and they can't pull the wool over your eyes anymore because you have a little understanding like what a carburetor is.
I mean, and even if you don't actually want to fix your own computer yourself, it's that understanding that if something broke, it's actually because there's a faulty part instead of magic happened.
It's a magic, and then some guy, with a big cape behind the curtain, you have to go see to fix it. And then really you get controlled by these people. And so if this is going to be an important piece of equipment for your whole life, you should have some knowledge of it so you're not controlled by all these so-called experts who all they know more is what you have in your box. And you can get it from you for $100 and plug it together and see how all this stuff works yourself. And actually, I mean, even a 50-year-old person, because that's I got to run to my 12-year-old kid to figure out how this works. No, you get one of these boxes, sit down with your 12-year-old kid, and you learn, because that's the way you're going to be more powerful. The next time you're at work, and your mate says, hey, this thing doesn't work, I got to get a new one. No, you don't. You just take off the back and fix this, and you got the whole business running again.
Sure. I mean, I think knowledge has democratized what we can do now. And I think this is part of it. Empowering people to build stuff on their own and to actually understand it, so they can feel like they're empowered to do it.
Right. Because again, you don't put your hands into experts because they don't really know. They're guessing too. So it might as well be your guess. Because you got your heart in it. This means more to you than it does to them.
Exactly.
And it's grabbing power back from gatekeepers, that run our society, and you don't have to have them run you too. By just getting a little knowledge. And we could get a little knowledge from and you call it a nice name, Piper. Where does that come from?
Well, initially we were thinking of, pipes that connect us. So
I see.
Pipes,
the pipe.
for example, in the building are really important to keeping us living in our modern buildings today. And the internet is the same way. It's a series of pipes. We don't really know how any of these work.
Right.
The idea is...
Neither does Al Gore. Nobody knows how to. It's a mystery in a way, but it doesn't have to be, particularly the hardware part, that is right here. And it's what's amazing to me, what you told me, I didn't know before I met you, that it's all run by a $35 motherboard. I mean, that's what you could get to start a computer is $35 and a mouse and a screen and a keyboard, and you have your own computer.
Absolutely. And it's a kind of a revolutionary innovation that was released about 3 years ago to make coding and electronics kind of accessible to anyone. And so
you started this. I mean, what's interesting to me, you didn't start this venture as a moneymaker. I mean, you got a couple $100,000 already for fundraising, but you really saw a need to educate kids, and that's what you're after. And the business is sort of like an accident for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was more of a personal mission to create a tool that I would have wanted to have when I was little, when I was growing up, when I wanted to learn about electronics or technology. There was no one around me to teach me. Kind of an easy way, and so we created a game around it. So when you play Piper, you're actually playing Minecraft. Minecraft's a very popular game that kids all over the world now are really obsessed with. It's kind of like a virtual Legos. And so we combine the Minecraft, the virtual game, with actually physically building pieces on the screen.
So that you learn how it works, how a computer works by playing a game on your computer.
Exactly. Yeah. So what you do physically actually changes the game virtually. So you have that virtual physical interaction.
That's wonderful. And this is really going to be the hot Christmas toy next year, right? Because that's when you're going to be shipping this thing, right?
Well, yeah, this year, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then after your Kickstarter's over, though, you won't be able to get it except on a waiting list for next Christmas. So people got to get there before the next 10 days when we interview this. What's the drop dead day? April 4th, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you got to get to your place by April 4th, and with WITHPIPER.com. I won't spell Mark's last name. But that's how you find it, and that'll get you to Kickstarter. And for $100, I guess certain levels, for $150 you get one, that sings to you or something, and all this stuff. But the basic thing for anything, and I'm sure it's for any kid or adult that wants to know what these things are that are running our lives and going to run more and more lives, in the future. And if you're going to be living for at least 6 more months, you gotta have one of these things, right?
Yeah, we think so.
Right. Well, that's wonderful, Mark. Thank you for taking your time and taking your talents to share your passion and making life better for the rest of us. That's the important thing.
Thank you, Matthew.
You bet. Withpiper.com, and you'll find Mark there and learn how to pronounce his last name. Take care.